All right, go ahead.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Sports to the Wire. For those of you who are actually new to the channel, I am your host, Rashid, my boy, football analyst extraordinaire. You know, my partner there, Beric.
What's up, guys? What's going on? What's going on? What's happening?
All right. As everyone can actually see with the title on screen over there, NBA General Manager, anonymously, of course, rips the NBA and admits players have destroyed the league. Beric, take us off on this one, man, because you had a lot to say on this one. On our pre-show prep here.
Well, the bottom line is that you right now have players right now who are joining up with certain teams, and it's been going on since basically 2008, and we're at 2021 now, and parity is something we don't have in the NBA. Now, with that being said, this anonymous GM has come out and made it very clear that the NBA players are controlling the narrative. They're basically saying and dictating where they want to go, where they want to play, and obviously Adam Silver's allowing it. Now, isn't Adam Silver working for the owners? Isn't Adam Silver the one that's supposed to be sitting out there saying, no, this cannot happen? But that's not happening at all. What's happening is now the players, like James Harden, he's the perfect example, come out and say, oh, I want to go to Brooklyn. I want to go to Brooklyn. Guess what? He's in Brooklyn. Is that easy now?
All right. So you really actually think it's about player mobility or all the woke nonsense that's actually going on? The BLM, the LeBron, the Kyrie screaming racism to fans who actually love black people, who actually purchased his products, purchased his jerseys, his sneakers, supported his brand, supported his movie, Uncle Drew. I see a lot of, white people wearing Uncle Drew, like basketball jerseys. So, I mean, you think it's the woke nonsense, or you actually think it's the player mobility?
It's both, my brother. It's everything. Like I mentioned to you privately, you have a lot of players making political stances. They did it last year. Most of these players from last year basically took a step back. LeBron's the only one making the comments now, and people have blamed LeBron. So, yeah, the woke movement has been a part of it. The political stances they've made have been a part of it. And obviously,
I didn't want you to actually omit that,
Well, really? You don't think so, huh? Well, okay. I mean, I got called as I see it, brother. I mean, you give people a platform and you obviously allow them to do so. But having said that, I'm not saying these players should not have a say on where they go. They should not have a say on what's going on. They should have it. But there has to be a line drawn in the sand that basically says, listen, you are a member of this team. I have you under contract. We are trying to do everything in our power to surround you with the necessary talent to go out and compete for a championship. No, that's not good enough. I want to go chill with my boy. I want to go play with my boys over here in Brooklyn. Oh, yeah? Okay, cool. We'll send you over there. That is not the way it was done before. And Adam Silver has to grow a spine, my brother. He has to grow one. If he don't have it, he needs to get it.
We've been saying that, pretty much this whole year. He's not an alpha. He's a beta. Actually, not even this year. Last year, this year in the bubble, as a matter of fact. Was last year in the bubble, and he has to pretty much actually, grow some huevos in a sense, though, right?
Huevos.
Yep. Am I saying that correctly in Spanish?
Yeah.
That's he
right.
Needs to grow some there, and he hasn't. And he's all about the players, and you're just gonna have to, I don't know, fire him or actually get maybe a David Stern type, personality, alpha male who's actually going to, set the bar extremely high. Hey, you can't actually, piss off your fan base. You can't, the customers pretty much. You go over there and start trashing them like Kyrie's been doing, calling them racist, and then people is not going to really vibe and resonate with that, because I showed you on the last show that we actually did that these players are, people are screaming for Taco Fall, somebody that's 25% darker than him. than Kyrie in a sense. Though.
I don't want to make this a racial thing because that's so easy to do right now, my brother. Right now, what you want to call this is player empowerment. That's what you want to call this. You want to call this player empowerment, and it's just what has been going on. It started before. I mean, you had Kevin Durant in a small market city like Oklahoma City, and look what Oklahoma City was able to do. They were able to build a team that competed for the Western Conference title, and eventually went on to the NBA. But because they didn't win, now all of a sudden Kevin wants to go to California and play with Curry. You see, this is where it's been going on. But I like
Russell Westbrook is a head case. I mean,
no. It's not.
No. Hold on. Both of us played with guys like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
We played with guys like Westbrook in a sense, though. We call them what was it? The black hole in basketball. Somebody doesn't want to give the rock up and take bad shots. It takes you out of the game in a sense, though, man. Who wants to play with a low IQ basketball player, man? It's just frustrating having to play with people like that. So yeah, that was just the management catering to Westbrook, and that's a Durant.
Yeah, Bahami Jones came out and made a comment that was interesting. He said that a lot of the black athletes, like the NBA, has a problem where black athletes don't want to play in certain areas because that's not where they want to live. Simple as that. I don't think it has anything to do entirely what's going on, but I think it plays a role. People want to wind up in New York or LA. That's pretty much where it's all about. And if you look at where the majority of the stars are, that's where they are. They're in New York and LA.
Yeah,
simple as that.
Yeah.
You gotta let the eyes tell you. It's the eye test. Where's it telling you? Where are the majority of the NBA stars? You got John Morant in Memphis, but how long you think John Morant's gonna stay in Memphis?
You gotta put a good team around him, man. You got to try to get plays there, and you got to develop the certain ones. Listen, Sean Marks is the actual blueprint. I mean, nobody wanted to come to Brooklyn in a sense, though. I mean, you have Paul Pierce and Garnett that was actually, traded there, somewhat forced there in a sense, though. But look what Sean Marks did. So that should be the model in a sense, though. Develop.
Well, I don't know if he's the model. I don't know if he's the model because Sean Marks learned from someone else, and someone else learned from them. It's a different era now financially. But look what we're talking about. We're talking about player empowerment. How much development can a guy do when you get the players and then 2-3 years later I got to get rid of them to get these other players in town?
I mean, listen. I mean, the Boston Celtics and the LA Lakers dominated. They were like back to back finals. They were constantly in the finals, winning championships each year. We've seen the Chicago Bulls won 3-3. I mean, Michael Jordan won the first 3. He retires, comes back a year and a half later, wins another 3. So I mean, this is nothing new. This is not nothing new where you have
but I'm just saying to you,
in a sense, though. Yeah.
Right. But you look at LeBron, he was in Cleveland, he went to Miami. You look at Anthony Davis, he was in New Orleans, he went to LA. You look at Kevin Durant, he was in Oklahoma City, he went to California. This is what you're seeing. Harden left Houston. Originally, he was in OKC. Then he went to Houston. Now he's in Brooklyn. Okay? This is what you're seeing. This is the part of player empowerment that we're looking at. Whether or not these players are being built to be with this team or the blueprint or whatever the case is, I'll tell you what the blueprint really is. The blueprint is, Adam Silver need to step it up and stop all this moving around. These little pieces are forming up in certain areas because I don't want to live here. I don't think we can do this.
Listen, we can't ignore the woke stuff, Derek. We can't just saying that's not a part of it, though.
I'm not saying I mentioned saying the woke movement is part of it, but right now the players are controlling where they're going.
Yeah,
that's the majority of the problem right now, right?
And the woke, I would say half and half in a sense, though. I mean, players moved around all the time. I mean, Scottie Pippen, didn't they score? Scottie Pippen and Charles Barkley and Olajuwon went to the Houston.
Scottie Pippen was out of Chicago because Rosendorf, with the fool he was, wanted to break up that team. Yeah, that's all that was.
Exactly. You just got bad general managers. I mean, now there's more bad GMs probably now than it was, back in let's say the 90s or the 80s and the early 2000s. But This is bad general managers. And why did he actually break up that Chicago Bulls team is beyond me.
They could have won 7. And anybody with half knowledge will know that. They could have won 7 with the guys they had there. Yeah, that plays a role too, but the general managers are going under the concept like, whatever you guys could do to bring this team over, because the general manager's job hinges on how he formulates the team and how successful that team is. That's their job. The owner don't got nothing to worry about. I own the team. Everybody underneath them, their job's in jeopardy. Your job is to do this. Your job is to do that. Do what you gotta do to get these players over here. And if you can do that, then you can give us a chance to please our fan base and save my job. Okay? But Jerry goes and break up that team in Chicago. I don't know where Jerry at right now. Okay, so that's the whole point. That's the whole point. So the players are doing what they're doing because they are being allowed to do that.
Yeah, we've been calling. I mean, we've been calling. Calling it out on this show over here for Adam Silver to actually start, taking the reins back. I'm like, all right, enough with the woke nonsense, and just you may have to have some type of what's the word, like players. I mean, don't ask these guys political questions and them to actually have a gag order in a sense, though, not to say anything, man. Because like I said before, politics is really highly complex. You can't listen to a Lynn piece and then go out there and think you're just a pseudo intellectual when it comes to politics. It doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't work like that at all. But something has to start changing. I've gone on record of saying that the draft process should change. The team that has the worst record should get the first pick. How are they supposed to get better? I've gone on many years saying about that. I mean, the NBA has to change a couple of things around. Get things back in control. Let the people who are supposed to be in control, like Bane said in Dark Knight Rises, take control.